Number one, if Megan Fox can crash DragonCon, you can too. Number one. Okay.
Oh,
Number
she
six,
crashed
so
it?
she crashed it last year.
Okay.
Number two is he can crash it.
Okay,
no
thank you.
Number two, any dirt on Richard Hatch, if anything that's funny that happened with him at all? Because though he does acting courses out in California and stuff, he takes his stuff usually very seriously. But anything funny happen with him at all? Maybe not.
Funny. It's just one of those things that's hard to like, I have to start digging in my brain, because this is a while ago too. But I have spent time with Richard at a couple conventions since, I think, and he's a riot. Nothing comes to mind. Again, if I think of anything else. I did watch, have you seen, he's doing this reality show about himself? Like being an actor in LA and what it's like. And he actually invited me to come on the show. Like, I don't live in LA, but he's like, next time you're here, come, we'll do a segment or an interview or something. So I know he sent me the link. You can watch like the trailer to it. So if you want dirt on Richard Hatch, I think that's probably the best way to get it, because I think he likes to share things. So I think he probably would be able to give you the best dirt on himself more than I would. But I mean, it was really, really cool to have him on the show, especially just having the history, obviously, of the original, and then I know he's so close to his heart, and he tried for so long to get it off the ground again, and then I think he was a little resistant at first to our show, but finally came around, but then to play this great, like, defiant character, so it was really cool to have him on the show. He's a good guy. Yeah.
Favorite episode or Battlestar Home?
I would have to say my favorite episode is the last one. I think it was the most challenging, but also the one where I got to really, really sink my teeth into it. And I actually got to like work with the director, and we talked about symbolism, and I got to be a lot more involved, because the cast is huge. I mean, as much as everybody loves Callie, they don't love her that much. Like, I kind of had to be like, you know, I did what I was told, and I was happy about that, and I was just part of the whole system. And so, but that episode, I felt like I really got to put myself into it and explore really some dark places, but it's, as an actor, like those challenges I find the most exhilarating and inspiring, and it was just fun. And I got to, you know, hit Aaron on the head with a wrench, so that's always good. But honestly, actually, like what really pushed my limitations was working with the baby. Except poor kid. First of all, we'd used him already, so we kept using this one child who was the child of the camera guy. So I had his dad watching the whole time. And, you know, everything is always kind of takes longer on a film set. It's never quite the way you think. And this poor kid would show up at 7 in the morning, and they wouldn't use him until like 7 at night. And so it'd be just when he's ready for nap time, and they're like, all right, we're gonna shoot your death scene now while you're carrying this tired, hungry baby. And when I say baby, I use that term loosely because he was massive. There's a picture, like one of the still photos of the baby, and it's like, it's kind of probably a bad angle because his thigh is like looks bigger than my face. It's so funny. It's so funny. So I was like carrying him, and I think just maybe being a woman or something, you do what you have to do to hold the baby. But it was challenging. And then half the time I would have this really grotesque looking rubber baby, which was even more difficult because it didn't hang on or anything. And it was, I freak people out. This is one of the tricks that I would do, because I'd be holding the baby, and you can't help but sort of project some sort of humanness on it. It had hair. I mean, it was gross because it was like kind of stuck on hair. But if you didn't look too closely, it looked like a real child. So I'd be standing there and kind of going like this, and all of a sudden I'd just let it drop. Like this, and it just fell backwards, and people would be like, oh, they would just freak out. Because even if you know, there's still this kind of instinctual reaction that you have to that potentially happening to a baby. So that was kind of funny, but it was hard. Not only that, but for the acting part of it, I was supposedly committing suicide, found out everything I knew was a lie, and all that going on. So it was really difficult, but I felt it was very rewarding at the same time. Like just those days when you put in a hard day's work, and it felt really good. It wasn't one of those days where I was just sitting around showing up to like in the background to fix a Viper and hanging out at craft services the rest of the day. It was like really solid, you know, I was ready for bed by the end of the day, and it felt really good. And I also just loved how the director and how the editors put it all together, and how it became this sort of tribute to the character. I think that was really neat. It made it really easy for me to make my demo reel, because I just pretty much like put those together. It had all these little snapshots of her kind of storyline over the years. So. Yeah.
With the sets kind of developed, there's a lot of green screen.
You know, probably less green screen than you might think, because we did have a whole hangar deck, and depending on the angle of the shot, there'd be a green screen at one end, but it was bigger than this room. Like they were really, really massive, and we had full-on Vipers and Raptors and everything you would find on the hangar deck. The only thing they would do with the green screen is make it look even longer, you know, kind of vast. And for the Vipers flying, that was always, they'd have the Viper and then have green screen. It's hard for me to say because I only know in my kind of world how much green screen there was, but there wasn't a ton. Obviously when we were floating through space, they had to use a little green screen magic, but a lot of it was, you know, real tangible props and machines and stages. And I'm trying to think, even like the Cylon ships, they created everything. It's really cool. It's fun to walk around, like, and they'd be set up in, not necessarily in the way that the ship's set up, so you'd walk from the Cylon base ship into Adama's office. And